Welcome to Victory Fund's 30th anniversary celebration. I am Georgia Representative Park Cannon. Tonight, we are here to celebrate the LGBTQ community's road to full representation and the role that Victory Fund played in getting us to this moment when nearly 1,000 out LGBTQ people are serving in elected positions in the United States. The founders of Victory Fund understood the importance of ensuring that LGBTQ people had a place at the decision-making tables and were represented at every level of public office and in every corner of America.
I'm Georgia State Representative Sam Park. I'm proud to be here tonight with my colleague to pay tribute to Victory Fund and the history makers whose shoulders we stand on, including the 21 members of the founding class of the LGBTQ Victory Hall of Fame, who we will induct tonight. One of those inductees is Jose Sarria. In 1961, a full 8 years before Stonewall and 16 years before LGBTQ people were allowed to serve in positions in the federal government, Jose, a Latino veteran of the Army and drag queen, became the first out LGBTQ person to run for public office in the United States.
Jose shocked the world by earning more than 6,000 votes in his race for San Francisco Board of Supervisors, demonstrating for the first time the importance of the LGBTQ vote. We proved LGBTQ people can be an influential voting bloc, and that when we vote together, we can win. 60 years later, our right to vote is still under attack in Georgia and across the country. Those who oppose equality seek to make it more difficult to vote by limiting hours at polling stations, imposing absurd levels of signature scrutiny, unfairly removing people from voting rolls, and even banning the distribution of food and water to those waiting in line for hours to vote. These laws aim to prevent people like us from voting in places like Atlanta, Houston, Phoenix, and Orlando. If these laws pass and continue to stand, they can drastically limit opportunities to vote for leaders like the ones we celebrate tonight. We must be brave and stand up for everybody's right to vote. And I know the leaders at Victory Fund feel the same.
Although Jose Sarria's run demonstrated the power of the LGBTQ vote, he fell just short of victory. But his brave campaign sent a message to the country and to our community. He encouraged his friends and supporters to stand up for themselves and to fight back against the discrimination, harassment, and violence they faced. Today, our AAPI community is being targeted as scapegoats for the COVID pandemic, and the same people who oppose LGBTQ equality have fomented hate and violence toward AAPI people. It is that reality that makes Jose Sarria's famous line ring as true as ever. United we stand. There is one equality movement, and we must elect more people committed to that vision. We face enormous challenges as it relates to police violence, voting rights, and hate crimes. There is so much more work to do, but it is also important to look back and remember all that we've already accomplished. And I'm honored to join Representative Cannon in opening tonight's event and celebrating 30 years of LGBTQ Victory Fund and LGBTQ political power. I hope you will be inspired by the stories of bravery from historic candidates from around the world and enjoy powerful performances from Sara Bareilles and others. Thank you for being here.
Now, I have the great honor of welcoming the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, a woman who was critical to House passage of the Equality Act in February, our friend and unwavering ally, Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you for the kind introduction, State Representative Park Cannon. Greetings, everyone. What an honor it is to join the LGBTQ Victory Fund's 30th anniversary celebration. Congratulations for your 3 decades of hard work toward increasing LGBTQ political representation. It is astounding what you have achieved, and I am grateful that together we can reflect on this exciting milestone. In June of 1987, I won a special election for my U.S. House seat, just days after my dear friend Barney Frank came out. People were shocked that Barney would choose voluntarily to tell the world that he is gay and subject himself to the abuse, harassment, and hate that sometimes came with it, shocking as it seems to us today. I, of course, had the greatest admiration and respect for his decision. He's 1 week younger than I am, and he says, even when we're the same age, chronologically, he says, I will always be, you, Nancy, will always be older than me, 1 week. Now, fast forward to today. We have 9 out LGBTQ representatives and 2 out senators. It still takes courage for them to run openly and to serve openly, but it is much easier. That is in large part because of the Victory Fund's 30 years of building LGBTQ political power. With that power came change. LGBTQ elected officials are at the forefront of every legislative advancement toward equality, from non-discrimination laws at the city level to marriage equality laws at the state level and the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and much more. Some of it under the leadership of Democrats in the Congress. Earlier this year, our LGBTQ members in Congress led the fight for passage of the Equality Act to end discrimination against the LGBTQ community once and for all. It was sponsored by David Cicilline and supported by every single Democrat in the House. From our beloved Harvey Milk to Mayor Annise Parker and more, we simply would not be where we are today without the courage of LGBTQ elected officials. You have transformed America. You have changed hearts and minds. You should be proud. I know you are. I certainly am, and I can't wait to work with you on what comes next. Congratulations to the LGBTQ Victory Hall of Fame, founding class members, including Senator Tammy Baldwin, for being inducted as a Lifetime Achievement honoree. How well deserved. Best wishes for a successful celebration, and thank you.
We stand on the shoulders of justice warriors, brave and tireless champions of equality, transformational heroes committed to a greater communal good. For 30 years, Victory Fund has carved an indelible path for LGBTQ candidates. From a humble handful of activists and donors to a dynamic, multifaceted national political action group, Victory Fund and Victory Institute have proven that representation is power. That when brave LGBTQ leaders share a place at the table, authenticity shares a place at the table. Understanding shares a place at the table. Openness shares a place at the table. And we are all victorious.
Thank you, and I'll see you on the trail.
Victory Fund was created May 1st, 1991, and lived up to its name from the very start. In 1993, Victory Institute was launched to train future LGBTQ candidates and the campaign workers who support them. From there, a dream quickly became a movement. The next 2 decades would see exponential growth. Hundreds of candidates endorsed, millions of dollars donated, and an astounding number of historic firsts. Then came November 2016, and everything we fought for, even democracy itself, seemed under threat. But bravery is fueled by adversity. In the past 5 years, Victory Fund has endorsed nearly 1,100 openly LGBTQ candidates, has celebrated over 650 wins, and raised millions of dollars for candidates, future candidates, training outreach, and support. In 2016, victories included the election of 5 non-incumbent LGBTQ people of color to state legislatures, and America's first LGBTQ person elected governor, Kate Brown.
Tonight, we've raised our voices in unison.
2017 saw the unprecedented election of 5 Victory Fund endorsed transgender candidates to historic first in public office, and Seattle's first lesbian mayor. In 2018 came the Rainbow Wave with 274 Victory Fund endorsed candidates, a new record for the organization. 10 Victory Fund supported LGBTQ people won seats in the U.S. Congress, with inspiring wins from Senators Tammy, Baldwin, and Kristen Sinema. Jared Polis became the nation's first gay governor, and dozens more lavender ceilings were shattered. 2019 showed us that there is no longer such a thing as an off year, and that the Rainbow Wave was no anomaly. The paradigm-shifting election of Mayor Lori Lightfoot in Chicago was joined by 2 other historic lesbian mayorships, Jane Castor in Tampa and Satya Rose Conway in Madison. And Victory Fund was the first to nationally endorse the historic candidacy of Mayor Pete Buttigieg for President of the United States on the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising in New York City. Finally, 2020 was more unprecedented than we could have imagined. We elected more out LGBTQ candidates to office than any other time in our nation's history, including our first 2 LGBTQ Black members of Congress and Afro-Latinx member of Congress, our first out trans state senator, and our first out non-binary state legislator. Despite a tumultuous and heartbreaking year, 2020 ended with too many history-making LGBTQ victories to name. And over the next 5 years, Victory Fund and Victory Institute aim to quadruple their strength with a strategic plan to identify diverse potential candidates, grow candidate services, and provide training to all LGBTQ people who want to run. Because 30 years in the fight for equality and representation has shown us time and time again what it means to be brave. Bravery opens hearts, and open hearts have the power to open minds, and open minds have the power to change the world.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the Victory Fund's 30th anniversary celebration. My name is Lynn Greer, and I was the founding co-chair of the Victory Fund Board of Directors, and I'm currently serving as a Victory Institute member.
Hello, Lynn, and hello, everyone else. My name is David Mixner. I'm the other half of the founding co-chair of the Board of Directors. When we launched the Victory Fund just 30 years ago, not in my wildest dream would I imagine such growth and widespread support as we see here today. In fact, now I want you to listen. For this event, we have already raised $940,000 to support LGBTQ plus candidates across the country. It is incredible.
But as you all know, there are more LGBTQ candidates running than ever before. Campaigns are more expensive than ever before. So tonight, during this event, we need to raise another $60,000 to reach our goal. So in order to help our candidates through the 21 cycle and prepare for the elections of 2022, including many great congressional races to come. Fortunately, and this is so awesome, we have a donor who has agreed to match up to $30,000 in each of your contributions tonight. It means that during this event, every dollar you give will get doubled. But if you make that gift monthly, it will be tripled. So just go ahead and make it $100 a month on that credit card, and we'll make it triple that.
Listen, folks, listen carefully. You have the opportunity to make history tonight. This will be the first million fundraiser for the Victory Fund ever. And all we need to make that goal is just $30,000 more. That's $1,000 for every year the Victory Fund has existed. But we can't do it alone. We've never been able to do it alone. We need you to make it happen.
So here are the instructions, folks. Let's make this happen. Go to victoryfund.org/brave to contribute whatever you can. Every bit helps, and tonight it will either be doubled or even tripled.
And my old friend, Pennsylvania State Representative Brian Sims, will be joining us at the end of the show for an update on our fundraising progress. So please do it now, so that poor man has good news to report to all of us at the end of this evening.
Thank you again for supporting the LGBT candidates who are helping transform America. So go to victoryfund.org/brave. We cannot and they cannot do it without you. And again, the website is victoryfund.org/brave.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danica Roem. I'm the Virginia State Delegate from the 13th District of the Virginia House of Delegates, proudly representing the people of the city of Manassas Park and the western Prince William County portions of Haymarket, Gainesville, and my lifelong home Manassas as the first out and seated transgender state legislator in American history. In 2017, when I took on and defeated the self-described chief homophobe of Virginia, I dealt with a world of transphobic slurs and still found a way to win. Yet the leaders we induct into the LGBTQ Victory Hall of Fame today are those who ran or were appointed when the public still opposed equality and when serving openly meant bomb threats, broken windows, at campaign headquarters, and so much worse. They stood strong for our community, as Anita Bryant labeled them deviants, as HIV was called divine retribution, as voters passed anti-marriage amendments, and when coming out in the military meant a career-ending discharge. But these leaders served openly, proudly. In a word, they are brave. The One Victory Board of Directors voted to induct 20 former LGBTQ elected officials, appointed officials, and candidates as part of the founding class of the Hall of Fame because of their enormous contribution to LGBTQ political history. The board also voted to honor sitting U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin as a Lifetime Achievement inductee. Moving forward, the LGBTQ Victory Hall of Fame will induct 3 new current or former LGBTQ leaders each December, both to honor their legacy and to inspire more LGBTQ people to follow in their footsteps. It was true in 1974, true in 2017, and still true today. These LGBTQ leaders from the US and around the world are the front lines in our movement for equality. And today, as then, it required them to be, in the words of Grammy Award-winning ally Sara Bareilles, brave.
You can be amazing, you could turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You can be the outcast or be the backlash of somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up. Nothing's gonna hurt you the way the words do, and they settle beneath your skin, kept on the inside, and no sunlight, sometimes a shadow wins. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave, want to see you, I just want to see you, I want to see you. Stared down by the enemy, fallen for the fear and done some disappearing, bowed down to the mighty, but don't run and stop holding your tongue. Maybe there's a way out of the cage where you live. Maybe one of these days you can let the light in and show me
Jose Sarria.
Jose would often say that he was never a second-class citizen. He said, I was a good soldier. I believed I was a good soldier. This was the McCarthy era where they were rooting out homosexuals everywhere. And their goal was, throughout the nation, it was to drive them out of jobs, find out who is a homosexual, blackball them and remove them from their employment, because they would publish the photographs and the names of these people in the newspaper. And it would destroy their jobs, and it would destroy their lives. And in many cases, they end up committing suicide as a result of the destruction to their lives. So he decided to get gay men and women to decide they were going to fight, and that they were equal and they deserved the same rights as anyone else. Jose was the first openly gay candidate for public office anywhere to run for city supervisor. So Jose didn't win, but he came in sixth. He said in San Francisco, no one would ever again run for public office without coming to the gay community and seeking their support.
Kathy Kozachenko. Elaine Noble. Harvey Milk. Barney Frank.
First got into public life working for the mayor of Boston in 1967. And then for 8 years I was a member of the Massachusetts State House of Representatives, beginning that by introducing the first gay rights bill in Massachusetts history in 1972. The moment I saw the breakthrough was the breakthrough. The decision by the Supreme Judicial Court, as we call it in Massachusetts, to allow same-sex marriage in 2003. And it was under our state constitution, where the Supreme Court has no jurisdiction, that we got it. So I became convinced after that just as reality broke through against anti-gay prejudice across the board, it was going to do the same for marriage. It's the coming out of people that broke the back of the prejudice.
Keith St. John.
Being black and gay ain't easy. Folks who are gay, lesbian, transgender, those of us who are different in whatever way, we have now proven, we have shown that as we better understand how to not only communicate our thoughts, but hear others' thoughts, we've been able to succeed in getting ourselves placed in positions of authority and power. I think, that momentum just has built on itself.
Sherry Harris.
I was instructed to go out and meet the movers and shakers. And I'll never forget, there was this one response from a woman who actually was in public office at the time, and she said to me, "This city will never elect a Sherry Harris." I've been a fan of the life work of Mahatma Gandhi, and he coined that phrase, "Be the change you want to see in the world." And I said to myself, "Sherry, who are you going to be about that?" And I decided that I was going to be brave and about breaking down barriers.
Tom Dwayne.
When I ran in New York City, no openly gay person had been elected to anything yet. There was great misunderstanding around transmission of HIV/AIDS. So I made the case of, you could be a council member and have HIV and have the strength and the stamina to do the job. And I made that case. People would know that advancing queer civil rights would be a part of my platform and something that I would fight very hard to do. And they knew that I would fight on every other issue that they cared about. The only difference is that we just have to decide every day to come out.
Roberta Achtenberg.
We all have the opportunity to lead, and that leadership requires a certain kind of bravery. And that's one of the reasons I was so very proud to have been Fair Housing Assistant Secretary. At the time, LGBTQ housing rights and anti-discrimination rights were not recognized. So that put me in an unusual situation. It gave me, however, a banner that I was proud to carry.
Deborah Batts. Neil Giuliano.
For me, living as openly as the mayor in Tempe and being out meant that as the senior executive in the community, I had the opportunity to live with authenticity and at the same time run a city. Being in that executive role was clearly changing the culture within Tempe. My service on the National League of Cities Board of Directors and within the U.S. Conference of Mayors was all as the mayor of Tempe. Oh, and yes, he is an openly gay elected official. And that was significant because it helps people understand, it helps move the culture, it helps change hearts and minds when you're doing a good job. And that all adds up to the inclusive society that we have today.
Anise Parker.
Every time an LGBTQ leader stands up and raises their hand and says, I'm going to run for office, whether they are successful in that campaign or not, they have put another face and voice to the community. Too much of our movement in the early days was stopping at the courthouse door or the council chamber door or the legislative chamber door. Now we have people in those seats, in those rooms, helping to actually draft the change that needs to be codified into law.
Jim Hormel.
If you don't come out, they won't know who you are. Coming out is the most important single step that an LGBTQ person can take today.
Kim Coco Iwamoto. John Perez.
People fail to really appreciate. In so many parts of the country, historically, we've been able to be fired just on the basis of our sexual orientation or our gender identity. And in states that didn't have protections of things like the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, the best protection you could have was a union contract. And in all of the efforts of the LGBT community to get workplaces free of discrimination, the labor movement has traditionally been one of our best allies. And I was really proud of being able to partner with so many of my colleagues in the labor movement to be right there front and center in so many of those fights in California and across the country.
Johanna Sigurðardóttir. Simone Bell. Eric Fanning. Marielle Franco.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Anise Parker, President and CEO of LGBTQ Victory Fund, and I'm honored you've joined us for this milestone in our organization's history. Congratulations to all of those inducted into the LGBTQ Victory Hall of Fame tonight. I'm honored and grateful to be included alongside you. 30 years ago, a group of activists came together at a hotel outside of Washington, D.C., because they knew there was a missing piece in our movement for equality. We had lobbying organizations, legal groups, media watchdogs, but there was no organization committed to investing in LGBTQ political leaders. LGBTQ candidates were rarely taken seriously. We were considered too controversial to win votes, too polarizing to raise money. Most of our community's resources were turned toward electing allies, a safer bet, it was assumed. After all, there were only a couple dozen out elected officials in the entire nation, probably the entire world. But on May 1st, 1991, these activists signed the paperwork and Victory Fund was born. The organization would focus exclusively on electing LGBTQ candidates, believing that LGBTQ people in positions of power would be our best advocates, pushing equality legislation and changing hearts and minds along the way. Through snail mail, faxes, answering machines, the team got to work. They asked donors to contribute to candidates outside their own hometowns or states, to invest in LGBTQ candidates running everywhere in the country and at every level of government. knowing that with each victory, it became easier for the next LGBTQ candidate to follow in their footsteps. It was a strategy to grow from the local level up, recognizing that the school board member or town council member or state legislator of today would be the mayor, member of Congress, or even governor of tomorrow. It was a strategy to normalize LGBTQ candidates as a concept, to prove we were viable, could win elections, and then make great elected leaders once in office. It was a strategy focused on election cycles, but rooted in a larger vision of electing a network of LGBTQ leaders who would transform our nation's politics from the inside. It was a strategy that worked. And 30 years later, we've grown from a couple of dozen out elected officials to nearly 1,000 currently serving. And we've expanded our work into training and securing appointed positions through Victory Institute. Today, we celebrate our past and all we've achieved together. But know the team at Victory Fund is always looking forward. Each election cycle, we endorse and support hundreds of LGBTQ candidates, from people starting careers in local politics to those running for US Congress, governorships, and yes, even the presidency. We help them with fundraising, campaign support, and media visibility, providing the groundwork they need to compete and win. We help them shatter lavender ceilings and break down barriers, motivating a new generation of LGBTQ people to run. I'm honored to be serving as Victory Fund's president and CEO on this special anniversary. And I am so grateful to you all for supporting our work and believing in the power of the candidates we help elect. Now I'm excited for you to meet a handful of the history-making candidates we've endorsed this year. Thank you again.
Hey there, I'm Mark Levine. I'm running to be Virginia's next lieutenant governor. I'm a longtime activist for LGBTQ+ rights, or what I call rainbow rights, and I'll be the first openly rainbow statewide elected official in Virginia history, and the first openly gay lieutenant governor in any of the 50 states. When in office, I will fight bravely, as I have in the past, for equal justice for all, and I won't rest until we have it.
Hi, my name is Darden Rice, and I'm running for mayor of St. Petersburg, Florida. If I'm elected, I'll be the first LGBTQ mayor of our city. When in office, I'm going to bravely fight for affordable housing, a world-class education system, and a more equitable city for everyone.
Hi, my name is Mariah Moore, and I'm running for New Orleans City Council, District D. If elected, I will be the first out Black trans woman elected in the state of Louisiana. While in office, I will bravely fight for affordable housing, improved infrastructure, and economic opportunities for all New Orleanians. These opportunities must be as bountiful as our culture. Happy 30th anniversary, Victory Fund, and have a wonderful evening.
Hi, I am LaWanna Mayfield, and I am running for Charlotte City Council at large. If elected, I will return as Charlotte's first out representative. When back in office, I will commit and I will bravely champion and fight for our trans youth, education reform, climate change, and criminal justice reform.
Hi, my name is Liliana Bakhtiari, and I am running for Atlanta City Council District 5. If I am elected, I will be the first out queer Muslim person elected in the state of Georgia. And when I am in office, I am going to bravely fight for affordable housing and equity in governance.
Hi, my name is Lynn Schulman, and I'm running for New York City Council. If I am elected, I will be the first out lesbian elected in my district. When in office, I'm going to bravely fight for health care, economic reform, and climate change.
Hi, I'm James Lewis, and I'm running for Alexandria City Council. If elected, I'll bring an LGBTQ voice to the council. When in office, I will bravely fight for action on climate change.
Hi, my name is Keanu Smith-Brown, and I'm running for Alderman of Ward 3 in the city of Annapolis. If I am elected, I will be the first openly gay council member in our city. When in office, I'm going to bravely fight for criminal justice reform.
Hi, I'm Kirk McPike, and I'm running for City Council in Alexandria, Virginia. If elected, I will restore LGBTQ representation to our City Council. When I'm in office, I will bravely fight for an Alexandria that is open, inclusive, and welcoming to people of all backgrounds.
Hi, I'm Eric Botcher, and I'm running for City Council, District 3 in New York City on Manhattan's West Side, home of the Stonewall Inn, the birthplace of the modern LGBTQ civil rights movement. And if elected, I'm going to fight to ensure that all members of our community, particularly trans women of color, gender non-conforming members of our community, share in the progress that we've made.
Hello, my name is Dr. Tyler Titus, and I'm running for Erie County Executive in the state of Pennsylvania. When I'm elected, I will be the first non-binary person ever elected in the state's history. When I am in office, I will bravely and boldly fight for healthcare reform that not only includes, but honors, protects, and elevates queer bodies.
Hi, my name is Crystal Hudson, and I'm running for New York City Council. If elected, I will be the first gay Black woman ever elected in New York City. And when in office, I'm going to bravely fight for the liberation of all Black people.
Hi, my name is Brad Roem, and I'm running for Manhattan Borough President. If I'm elected, I'll be the first openly LGBTQ borough president in New York City history. When in office, I'm going to bravely fight for progressive reforms to make our city more affordable and equitable.
Hello, I'm Sandra Washington, and I'm running for Lincoln City Council. If I'm elected, I'll be the first out African-American lesbian elected in Nebraska. And when I'm in office, I'll fight bravely for fairness.
Hi, everybody. State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta here, and a 2020 candidate for the United States Senate here in the Great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Congratulations to all 20 members of the LGBTQ Victory Fund Hall of Fame's founding class, and to the Victory Fund on its 30th anniversary. So I have the best job of the night. I get to introduce and welcome to the Hall of Fame a woman who is an inspiration to nearly all of us LGBTQ elected officials, and someone whose career can only be defined by the word trailblazer. She became the first out LGBTQ member of the Wisconsin State Assembly when she won a Madison-based seat in 1992. She won election to the US House in 1998, becoming the first out lesbian to ever sit in the chamber and the first woman to be a US representative from Wisconsin. In 2012, she won her race to the United States Senate, becoming the first out LGBTQ person to serve in the body, and the first woman to represent Wisconsin in the upper chamber. She is a trailblazer for women, for the LGBTQ community, yet this has never been about making history for making history's sake. Her victories gave courage to so many folks to believe that they could step up and run for office. And as I'm fond of saying, bravery begets bravery. And Senator Baldwin has helped so many of us, including me, feel brave enough to raise our hands and run. We could literally transform the world if all of our elected officials followed her example. There is no one more deserving or worthy of being the Lifetime Achievement inductee into the LGBTQ Victory Hall of Fame. Senator Baldwin, thank you for your bravery, your courage, and your example for the past 30 years. And congratulations on your Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you, Malcolm, for your kind words and your incredible leadership in Pennsylvania. I am deeply honored to be the Lifetime Achievement inductee into the LGBTQ Victory Hall of Fame, and I'm thrilled to be joined by the 20 other inductees of the founding class, including heroes of mine such as Roberta Achtenberg, about whom Senator Jesse Helms famously said, "She's not your garden variety lesbian," and Alan Speer and Tom Duane and Elaine Noble. A few years before the Victory Fund was founded, we held a gathering to which was invited every out LGBTQ elected official in the world, at least the ones we knew of. We could call it international because one of the members of the British Parliament attended. Between those who showed up and those who were unable to make it, we numbered roughly 24. It was really more of a support group than a professional networking conference. At that time, running as an out candidate meant you would probably make state or national, even international headlines, even for the most local of seats. And that spotlight created a fear that often prevented candidates from coming out or running at all. But there is a clear pivot point in our political history, a moment when the perfect confluence of advocates, political leaders, and funders came together, determined to grow our representation in government. That was 30 years ago, and that was the founding of Victory Fund. In 1991, I was on the Dane County Board of Supervisors and considering a run for the Wisconsin State Assembly. Just a handful of LGBTQ people had ever won state legislative seats, and never in the state of Wisconsin. And I became one of Victory Fund's earliest candidates and an early success story. Back then, we didn't have Act Blue or internet donations, so my campaign would receive from the Victory Fund an envelope full of checks from people across the nation. People who didn't know me well or even have ties to Wisconsin, but who desperately wanted to support an out LGBTQ person running for elective office. It gave me a sense of power in appreciating what my race meant for people in the community, but also firsthand knowledge of the emerging power of Victory Fund and its ability to impact races that would transform America. This pattern repeated itself in my successful races for U.S. Congress and then the U.S. Senate. But it wasn't just for me. Dozens and then hundreds of LGBTQ candidates benefited from the campaign and fundraising support provided by Victory Fund. 30 years later, we have nearly 1,000 out LGBTQ elected officials nationwide, U.S. senators, governors, big city mayors, state legislative leaders. I know from personal experience that each one of these elected officials drives forward equality in ways small and large, behind the scenes and from the bully pulpits. I remember the impact of quiet conversations with colleagues, like how I helped then Senator Jeff Flake come to support an inclusive Employment Non-Discrimination Act by connecting him with a mutual friend of ours who has a transgender son. Or more publicly, how in hearing after hearing across several presidential administrations, I forced acknowledgement of health disparities impacting the LGBTQ community, leading to multiple efforts to name, quantify, and address health disparities and inequities. It is that impact that makes me proud to be one of Victory Fund's closest friends and biggest supporters. It is what makes me proud to be a part of LGBTQ political history and to be the Lifetime Achievement inductee to the LGBTQ Victory Hall of Fame. Thank you to One Victory Board of Directors for voting for my induction, and to all of you who support Victory Fund and this 30th anniversary event. We have accomplished so much over the last 30 years, and I can't wait to be a part of what comes next.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Sims, and I am very proud to be the state representative from Center City, Philadelphia, and a candidate for lieutenant governor here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. What a show we're having tonight. And it's important for you to know that because of your contributions during this event so far, we've surpassed the $1 million fundraising goal that we had set for this event. $1 million. That makes this the largest fundraiser in LGBTQ Victory Fund history. So thank you. But let's not give up yet. We're at an incredible $1.1 million, which means that we can get to $1.2 million. Let's keep going. Please help us raise $100,000 more so that the Victory Fund can continue to provide support for LGBTQ candidates like me to get us to $1.2 million. Please go to victoryfund.org/brave and make a contribution of whatever it is that you can afford. And if you can make that contribution right now, you'll see it pop up on the screen live so that everybody can see. Can you imagine that, getting to $1.2 million tonight? And we can make that happen live right now. You can watch that thermometer go up on your screen. We've got a couple that are coming in, so I want to make sure that I make some important thank yous. First, to Richard Holt and Dr. Mark McMasters. Thank you for kicking us off with a $5,000 gift. Thank you to Sharon and Taryn Callahan Miller. Thank you also for your $5,000 gift. And to Lou Vega, thank you for your $1,200 gift. You know, when the Victory Fund was founded in 1991, when I was 13 years old, they endorsed just two candidates. But last year alone, the Victory Fund endorsed 390 LGBTQ candidates, which means that a little gay 13-year-old boy got to see 222 of them elected to office, where they can fight for their constituents and fight for equality. But I think one of the things that all candidates know is that we don't do this alone, and we can't do this without the Victory Fund's support. The support that the fund provides with respect to campaign expertise and fundraising support and media strategy support is so critical to winning races. And with so many candidates running right now all across the country, that takes a lot of resources. So we can help those candidates by please helping me raise $100,000 more by the end of this event. We can do this. Please visit victoryfund.org/brave right now to donate. You know, when I first announced my candidacy and received my Victory Fund endorsement now just about 10 years ago for the House of Representatives, I was running against a 28-year incumbent. And to be able to call donors and supporters in Atlanta and in Palm Springs and in New York and Chicago who knew who I was because of the Victory Fund, who understood the training that I had gone through and what I needed to do in order to earn that endorsement, made all the difference. The Victory Fund changed the course of my life, and we have the opportunity tonight to do that for so many other people. So we're getting close. So please help me raise $100,000 more for LGBTQ candidates in the next hour. I've got a couple of really important contributions coming in right now. I want to make some thank yous. First, to my friend John Lunston. John, with a very generous $10,000 contribution to the Victory Fund. John, thank you. We have a $5,000 donation from California Senator Nancy Skinner. Senator, thank you so much. A $5,000 contribution from my friends Kyle Ferrari Munoz and his fantastic husband Henry Munoz, and a really great contribution from my friend Lawana Mayfield, who we heard from a little bit earlier. Lawana is a former city council person in Charlotte, North Carolina, and a current candidate for city council at large again in Charlotte. Gang, we're getting there. We're getting so much closer. So please keep the contributions coming in until that thermometer says $1.2 million. $1.2 million. And if you do, we can elect more members of Congress. We can elect more state legislators. And yeah, we can even elect some lieutenant governors. So thank you. Please, everyone go to victoryfund.org/brave and contribute whatever you can, whatever is comfortable for you. Thank you so much. And we're going to get there.
Meeting Harvey Milk was the single most important event of my life. He was my friend, a mentor, a father figure, and he was our leader. When I saw Harvey's body lying on the floor and saw what the bullets had done, my mind froze. As I began to comprehend what I was seeing, the only thing I could think was, it's over. It's all over. We huddled in his office in San Francisco City Hall as the police bundled up his body, and we listened to the tape he had left for us when he predicted his assassination. I tried to listen, but the only words I heard were those in my mind. It's over. It's all over. And then the sun went down, and the people began to gather. Hundreds, then thousands, then tens of thousands, gay and straight, young and old, black and brown and white. We lit our candles and began the long, silent walk down Market Street back to City Hall. We filled the Civic Center with the light of our candles. And as I stood there among the thousands, I knew that I was wrong. It wasn't over. It was just beginning. One of Harvey's many enduring legacies, and the most urgent message he left us, as relevant and powerful today as it was in 1978, you must come out, come out, come out, come out. The power of Out and Proud is at the core of everything the Victory Fund has achieved in its first 30 years. To close out our evening, the finale, from Andrew Lippa's I Am Harvey Milk, here is Tired of the Silence. Thank you and good night.
Do you believe you're not alone anymore and never have to be? Do you believe that you belong to something bigger than yourself? You're not alone anymore. You're not alone. I'm tired of the silence, so I'm speaking out. I'm tired of the life I used to lead. The walls I erected, the lies I perfected, the wounds I expected not to bleed.
I'm tired of the silence, so I'm facing you and asking if you are tired too. The road that we traveled is almost unraveled, so now we all have a job to do. Our world is about to find its voice, but everyone must make a choice. Come out and become yourself. You're not the one who's wrong. Come out and befriend yourself. Now what took you so long? Come out and the day you do, perhaps one more will come with you. Come out, come out, come out, come out, come out.
Who'll stand beside me? Who will take my hand? Whose will is greater than their fear?
Our goal has been sighted, our passions ignited, so now you're invited to appear.
Together is better than alone. The hate won't vanish on its own.
Come out and believe yourself. Put faith in those who care.
Come out and conceive yourself as something you can share. Come out and the day you do, the pain will soon let go of you. Come out, come out, come out, come out. To your friends, to your parents, to your boss, to your neighbors, to your sons, to your daughters, out to all your fellow workers,
to your cops, to your doctors, to the shops where you spend money, to your God, to your teachers, to yourselves. Come out to yourselves. To your friends,
I'm tired of the silence, so I'm speaking out.
To your neighbors, to your sons.
I'm tired of the life I used to live.
To your cops, to your doctors, to the shops where you spend money, to your God, to your teachers, to yourselves, to your friends.
I want my life to be just like an opera.
amazing. You could turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You can be the outcast or be the backlash of somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up. Nothing's gonna hurt you the way the words do, and they settle beneath your skin, kept on the inside, and no sunlight. Sometimes a shadow wins. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave, want to see you, I just want to see you, I want to see you. Everybody's been there, everybody's been stared down by the enemy, fallen for the fear and done some disappearing, bowed down to the mighty. But don't run and stop holding your tongue. Maybe there's a way out of the cage we live. Maybe one of these days you can let the light in and show me how big your brave is. Say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. And since your history of silence won't do you any good, did you think it would? Let your words be anything but empty. Why don't you tell them the truth? Say what you want to say and let the words fall